Lake Worth Beach City, Florida, had a local government meeting, and Commissioner Amari Hardy and Mayor Pam Triolo went at it with each other. They got into a big argument. Also part of this argument is City Manager Michael Bornstein, and he's siding with the mayor. This right here is Amari Hardy. This is about how they've dealt with the pandemic. That's what this argument is about. And basically, they're casually shutting off utilities for their residents at a time when they weren't supposed to do that. So Amari Hardy is really angry about this, and he's speaking up. Take a look.
Can we do better? There's always things that pop up that we can do better on, and I call the question.
I'm sorry, that's not how this works. We each have an opportunity to speak 5 minutes.
I thought we did.
Yeah, the question's been
I'm
called.
I'm sorry.
We've been
City
And that's not how calling the question works. You need a second, and you need to vote on
Then
it.
I have a second for calling
So
the
are you
question.
telling me that you're going to keep me from talking right now?
You've talked all evening.
Look here. You're calling me disrespectful because I've interrupted people, but this gentleman has turned off people's lights in the middle of a global health pandemic. That's what that gentleman did.
Point of order.
And you think I'm disrespectful for interrupting?
Point of order.
This gentleman has
Point
had the
of
ability to do
order.
any number of things.
Point
We
of
could have
order.
banned large gatherings. We could have closed the beach. We could have put a moratorium on
I recessed the
utility
meeting.
shutoffs.
I recessed the
Also
meeting.
not within your power, and the
recessed the
attorney has
meeting.
held that that's true.
I recessed the meeting.
You came up with new rules at the beginning of the meeting, and then you didn't even want to follow the rules that you came up with.
And you took advantage.
This is a banana republic is what you're turning this place into with your so-called leadership.
Does a recess mean that we will be?
Yes.
Camera on that?
I don't
You
care
got a-
anything
you got a
about
camera
this.
on that?
I don't care anything about this.
Does
We
it-
should have been talking about this last week.
Can
We
we?
cut off people's utilities this week and made them pay what could have been their last check to us to turn their lights on in a global health pandemic. But you don't care about that and you didn't want to meet. But every other year you go around and beg people for their votes.
Hey.
Can we explain
But
the
you care
recess?
more about your relationship with that guy than you care about the relationship with the people who don't go to work in this building.
Order. You were done. You're done. You're done. Disrespect.
It's disrespectful is what you've done to the working people in the city.
I didn't do anything.
You failed to act.
I didn't do anything.
When you're a leader, you failed to act. You said you didn't do anything. You failed to act when you had an opportunity.
Party for State House.
I don't care anything about that. You think anybody cares?
Does a recess mean that we can reconvene tonight, or? Okay. Is that in 5 minutes, or?
It's when the chair comes back.
"50 residents had their power shut off at the same time the city discontinued power shutoffs." And Amari's screaming against it. He's like, no, that's not okay. And I don't know what the position of the mayor is, and I don't know what the position of the city manager is, but it appears to be like, hey, www.com. So, hey, it is what it is. What are you going to do? I mean, you know, I feel for Amari there, and I feel for those people because what he was just doing oftentimes feels like what I do on my show, which is like I'm screaming about something that I think is just such an obvious injustice, and you just feel like you're screaming into the void. And like you're saying all these things, but then nothing's going to change, and those people who are getting screwed over are still going to get screwed over, and their power's still going to be shut off. And how, like, the extent to which the mayor and the city manager did not care about what they were putting people through, I feel like that's the wall that we're up against many times. Even in the election with Bernie versus Biden, it's like, do you guys see who the older Democratic primary voters are picking? Do you guys see this? He could barely put together a sentence. And this is who you're going with at a time when every single major thing Bernie's been talking about, he's been proven right during this outbreak. All the weaknesses are being exploited. The massive, wealth and income inequality, the lack of universal health care, all of these things now, we're showing how flimsy, how feeble our society is and how everything's fallen apart because of the pandemic. He's been proven right about everything, and you're going in the other direction. And it just seems like you're hitting a wall. No matter what you say, no matter how much sense you make, no matter how clear you are, you just hit a wall. and the reaction is like that mayor. Like, no, I don't. You're done. What was she saying to him? You're done. Something like that. You know? And then I think she even mentions like something about a state house position. And he's like, I don't care. Who cares about that? I'm talking about what's happening to these people who just got their power shut off. So, you know, a lot of credit there to Amari taking a stand. It didn't look to me like it was like planned. It seemed like he was genuinely pissed off. And shame on anybody who would shut off energy and screw people over during a pandemic. I mean, there's something extra evil about that.